Hello everyone, and today we are going to see the if statements. So this is lecture number 5 and welcome to the channel. So these are the contents of today's lecture: decision making, if else statement, if else if else statement, then we will see nested if else statement, then joining multiple conditions using logical and or. Let us move on further. Now, since this is the concept video, we are going to see only concept and very simple example. There will be a separate practice session on if else statement, if else if statement, nested ifs, and joining multiple conditions using logical and or. So we all know that we often do or make some decisions in your real life. So for example, if it is a rainy day today and students decide not to go to the school or college, right? So how do you make the decision? So if it rains today, boy will play, or otherwise he will go to school, right? So this is the basic decision making in your real life. So if you want to represent this example in flowchart type, so it will be like what decision you have to make: going to school or college or not. So what deciding factor is, or what is the condition here is it raining today? So this is the condition 1. So the logic will ask, is it raining today? So if the answer of this question is yes, then you will play, or then if the answer of the question is no, then you will go to school. So this is the basic decision making. Let us see one more example. The scenario is choosing what to wear based on the weather condition. So what is the condition 1? So condition 1 is, if it is cold, then wear a jacket. If a condition 2 is, if it is warm, wear a t-shirt. And condition 3, if it is raining, wear a raincoat. So you have come across 3 different conditions. If it is cold, wear a jacket. If it is warm, wear a t-shirt. If it is raining, wear a raincoat. So you can see that there is one if condition which is followed by some kind of action which you have to take if this condition is true, right? So this is the condition. If this is true, this is the action. If this is the condition, if this is true, this is the action. So such conditions can be written programmatically in C language. So how to write this? So I have transferred that example, the first example as well as the second example in this case. So example 1 was, if it rains today, boy will play, or otherwise he will go to school. Right? So I have written a code like this: if statement, if it rains. So condition is there should be rain. If it rains, then it will go inside this if statement. So the action is boy will play. If it doesn't rain on that day or any particular day, else the action will be boy will go to school, right? So in this way you can represent if else statement, right? So this is the condition, right? So you can see there is no condition in else, right? So there will not be any condition in else statement. It will be only in if statement, right? So if that condition is true, it will go inside. If that condition is false, it will go here in the else block. Right, this is a very simple example of if else statement in real life. Again, let us transform the second example into a programming mode. So what is the condition? If weather is cold, if there, suppose for example, if today's weather is cold, then you will have to wear a jacket. This is the action, or this block of code will be executed if this condition is true or if this condition is correct. if this condition is not correct, then what will happen? Then it will execute the second condition. It will check the second condition, that is weather is warm. If the today's weather is warm, then it will go into else if statement and this action will be taken, that is wear a t-shirt, right? And lastly, it is not cold, it is not warm either, so else wear a raincoat means it is a rainy day today, and hence the action is wear a raincoat. So you can have all these conditions altered also. You can write here weather is rainy or season is rainy, then wear a raincoat. Then weather is warm, wear a t-shirt, or else wear a jacket, likewise. So you can classify your if else conditions as per your requirements. This was the second condition, the example of if and else. Since this is a concept lecture, we are not going to take much difficult examples. We will be focusing on simpler examples like this examples. Now let us transfer or see one more practical example of if else statement. Now I have already told you that there is if statement, then there will be some condition. So condition 1 is true. If this condition is true, then printf marks or printf pass. So this is the action. This is the action based on the above condition if it is true or correct. Else, if the condition 1 is false, then it will print fail, right? So this is the example of printf. This is the example of if else statement with printf statement. So at the practical, if you want to run this code, so I have given all the details of the code. Here you have to include header files, then you have to write main function, then you will declare the variables, then you will do clr scr to clear the screen, then you will ask for user input, that is printf enter marks, then you will scanf or read the input since the variable is of float type, then ampersand marks. So once you obtain the marks, it will check if marks is greater than or equals to 40, then it will print pass, else it will print fail. So if you enter any marks less than 40, it will print a fail, and then finally get ch. So this is the simple example of if and if else statement. Now let us move on to real example of if, else if and else statement. So before that, let us see one more time. If condition 1 is true or correct, then print do this, or you have to perform these statements which are written inside this block of code, which is highlighted by blue color, right? If this condition is incorrect, so in that case, if this condition is incorrect, then it will check the second condition, whether this condition is true or not, right? Then it will check the condition 2 if it is true or not, right? If this is found true or if this is found correct, then it will print this statement, that is do something, right? And if both the conditions are incorrect, that is if this is also not true, if this is also not true, then and then only it will go to third block, that is else statement, printf do nothing, right? So you can see that the flow of the program will be from top to bottom. First if will be executed, later else if will be executed, and then else will be executed. You may have multiple else if statement in between depending on number of conditions you want to check, right? But it will enter into only one block of condition, that is the flow of the program will only enter if that condition is not satisfied, then and only then it will enter into the else if. Otherwise, if at the first instance only If this condition gets satisfied, then it will directly go to get ch or whatever code written after if else statement, right? So this is very, very important, you have to remember. Then the real life example, I have not written header files now. You have to write or include the header file statement also while doing practicals. Then I have declared one variable marks, clr get input from user, scanf ampersand marks. So now I have included two conditions. If marks are greater than or equal to 80, then printf grade equals to AA. Else if marks are greater than equals to 40, then printf grade BB. And finally else printf grade FF, right? So in this way you can arrange your if, else if and else statement, right? One very, very important thing here you have to remember that you will not give semicolon after any of the statement. Else if and else, the semicolon is not there. If you give semicolon, then it will break this part of code and this statement, right? So the body of if statement is this, starting from here to here. If you give semicolon to after if statement, then it will divide the if statement and body of the if statement. So always remember, there is no semicolon after if, else if and else statement, right? Let us move on to next slide. I hope this is clear to you. Now next comes is nested ifs. Now what happens, as per the condition, you are supposed to check the multiple complex if statements. That is, you have to take some action if some parameter is true, right? For example, okay, let us read this. Nested if statements occur when one if statement is placed inside another if statement. So there will be one if statement at the outside layer and there will be one or more if statement inside this if statement. So that is called as nested ifs. So this allows for more complex decision making processes where one condition depends on outcome of another. If you take example of online shopping and discount example, so let us first read what is the aim of this program. So aim of the program is to calculate discount to be given to a particular customer, right? So first condition that we are going to check here is a member a premium member? Whatever person is coming to your shop, so you have to check first that is he or is she a premium member. So if answer is yes, right, then next condition 2 you have to check. Condition 2, purchase amount is greater than 1000 or not. So if your answer is yes, the customer has purchased greater than 1000 rupees, then apply 20% discount. If the purchase amount is less than 1000, then apply 10% discount. And if the member is not a premium member, then there will be no discount. So you can see that in this case, this condition is dependent on this condition. This condition will work or will be executed only if a person is a premium member, right? So you can say that condition or the condition 2 is dependent on if the condition 1 is true, right? Condition 2 will be executed only if condition 1 is correct. So if you transfer this case to a programming example, let us see what happens. So example is again online shopping and discount example. So if member is a premium member, right? So inside that you can see I have nested one more if. purchase amount is greater than 1000, right? So if purchase amount is greater than 1000, then printf 20% discount is applicable. Else, if the purchase amount is not greater than 1000, else printf 10% discount is applicable. So if a member is not a premium member, it will not go inside this block. It will directly go to else block. When it will go to directly else, a member is not a premium member. In that case, it will go to else statement. And since the person is not a premium member, it will print no discount is applicable. Please purchase premium membership. Right? So in this way, the nested if statement works. So you can see that this if statement is inside the main if statement. So you can have such hierarchy of different if statement, right, which is called as nested if statement. So but always remember that you are starting this curly bracket here and you are ending this curly bracket here, so that you will have a track of curly brackets, right? So if you miss any curly bracket and program is very complex, then it will be difficult for you to figure it out at where that curly bracket is missed. So you can clearly see that this is the ending bracket of if, outer if, and it is outer else, right? So always remember the code indentation part, right? So this is the example of nested ifs. I hope the concepts are getting clear. The last topic of this concept video is multiple conditions inside if or in else ifs. So there is one operator which is called as logical AND operator, indicated by two ampersand signs. So whenever you want to check two or more conditions at the same time, right? So in that case, you can have such multiple, you can have this ampersand logical operator, right? So suppose you want to check that if CGPA is greater than or equals to 9.5 as well as attendance is greater than equals to 90, in that case printf you are eligible for scholarship, right? So these two conditions are joined here, 1 and 2 here, right? CGPA is greater than 9.5 and attendance is greater than equals to 90. These two conditions are joined here in this case, right? Similarly, there is one more, that is logical OR. So here logical OR, it is indicated by two standing lines. It is above backslash, right? So if age of a person is greater than or equals to 60, that is he is an elderly person or he has a membership card, so this can be read as OR. So if any of the condition is true, this will enter here, right? So if the person's age is greater than equals to 60 or the person has a membership card, then in both the cases, if any of the condition is true, then it will enter inside this block and it will print apply the discount, right? So these are the two different examples for logical and logical OR. So we can see that here two conditions satisfaction of both the conditions are required. That's why it is called AND, logical AND. And here in this case either of the two conditions are required to be satisfied. If one condition is satisfied and one condition is not satisfied, in both the cases this will be printed, right? But in this case both the condition needs to be satisfied, right? This is very important terminology for this. Let us see one more example where you can combine AND as well as OR. So here you can see a user can access a service if they are either a registered number and logged in, or they have a guest pass. So you can see that here two conditions are joined with AND. So user can access a service if they have either the registered number and logged in. So this is the first condition, that is registered number, and second condition is logged in. And OR, so this is indicated by this, and is indicated by double AND, or they have a guest pass, right? So you have to write such. So how to write it, let us see. So if, then round brackets, is registered number and is logged in. So you have to check the status in yes or no format. Yes, and is logged in, yes. So if both the conditions are true, or has a guest pass, so this can be false, but this has to be both true. In that case only it will go inside this, right? Or otherwise it will print access is denied to the service, right? Or otherwise this can happen that is a registered number and is not logged in, but it has a guest pass because it is here. So if one of the condition of this is not satisfied, either this or this will be false. But since the OR is here, so either of these two conditions must be satisfied. So if the person has a guest pass, then it will be granted, right? So all these things will get cleared when we will take the practice examples. This video is just focusing on the concepts. So I hope the concepts are clear. The joining of conditions can be done using round brackets to define the scope of that and %, right? And if statements. Always remember that the round bracket starting and ending brackets must match, right? If you have opened two round brackets and here only one bracket is missing, this is not given, so it will give you an error, right? So this is multiple condition inside if or in else if statements. So we have covered in this video lecture about decision making in real life, if else statement, then if else statement, nested if statements, and joining multiple conditions using logical and or, right? So I hope you understood the basic concepts of if statements, right? So thank you for watching this lecture. Keep learning, keep watching, and if possible you can keep liking, sharing and subscribing. Let us share the knowledge to everyone. Thank you and have a nice day.